The moment I stepped through my parents' front door, my suspicion turned to certainty. The air felt charged, like the stillness before a thunderstorm. Mom smiled as she took my coat. That smile was just a bit too wide. Dad's handshake was just a bit too firm. My sister Harper trembled with excitement. Her eyes darted between our parents, like co-conspirators. She guided me toward the dining room. The table was set with Mom's finest china, crystal glasses that only appeared for special occasions, a centerpiece of fresh flowers, a perfect dinner. The text that summoned me here said only, "We need to talk. Family matter." No reason given, just a date and time specified. That was their pattern. I took my usual seat across from Harper. When I saw her smile, I remembered something. When she was 8 years old, the smile she had when she hid a whoopee cushion under my chair. Dad carved the roast beef. Mom distributed the mashed potatoes. And then I spotted it, a manila folder tucked beside Dad's plate, its corner peeking out from beneath his napkin. "The well that refuses no one will be the first to run empty." Those words echoed in the back of my mind. Later, I would take something out, a leather portfolio. Inside were documents they knew nothing about. Contracts, records, numbers, things that would quietly overturn their plans. My parents would call me ungrateful. My sister would cry, "It's not fair." But no one knew. No one knew that during college, I worked double shifts at the hospital cafeteria, that I paid my sister's tuition while eating ramen, that I lived in a one-room apartment with furniture rescued from curbsides. No one knew that I still carry $187,000 in student loans, drained from my account every month, that I provided $42,000 worth of free treatments to this family, that on the day of my doctoral hooding ceremony, my parents chose my sister's sorority event instead. For 15 years, I was a well that refused no one. Every time family asked, I gave. Money, time, expertise, myself. And now, when I realized the well was running dry, when I chose to protect my business, when I chose to draw a boundary, am I wrong? Am I the asshole? Business is good. I kept my answer simple. I didn't miss Dad's eyes flickering toward the envelope. We've increased our patient load by 20% this quarter. Harper snorted softly. All those patients, but such a tiny waiting room. Someone really should upgrade your office management. The puzzle pieces clicked together in my mind. A puzzle I wish I couldn't solve. Dad cleared his throat, set down his fork with a deliberate clink against the fine china. "Maya, we've been thinking about your clinic's future." The food in my mouth turned to sawdust. Mom jumped in smoothly, as if they'd rehearsed this. "Family businesses need family management, dear. Your father and I have been discussing how to keep healing hands in the family long term. It's not a family business," I said carefully. "Built with our support." Dad counted, reaching for the envelope. "And now Harper has an excellent proposal, one that will benefit everyone." My sister straightened in her chair, like a peacock. "I've worked up a business plan to become your practice manager. I'd handle all the boring paperwork stuff while you focus on patients." She leaned forward, eyes gleaming. "I'm only asking for a 25% profit share, which is really reasonable considering all the growth I'll bring." My heartbeat pounded in my ears. This wasn't a casual Sunday dinner. This was an ambush. Dad opened the envelope, pulled out papers. The sound of pages turning was unnaturally loud. "I've already had my attorney draw this up. Thompson and Associates. You know them. They're medical business specialists." He slid the papers in front of me, as if it were already decided. "All we need is your signature. Here, and here, and here." Dad pointed to the spots he'd marked with his pen. I can start tomorrow." Harper clapped her hands together. "I already have ideas for redecorating your office. Make the waiting room more modern, Instagram worthy." Mom smiled gently. "You can focus on treatment. Harper will handle everything. She's really good with people, you know. Remember at your clinic opening?" Mom continued. "She charmed Dr. Wilson so well. He barely noticed you were there. But he talked with Harper for 30 minutes. I remember that. That day, I stood in the corner at my own clinic's opening. Wilson didn't notice me because Harper monopolized his attention, not talking about my business, but about her latest vacation plans. Memories flooded in, uninvited. I was 22. Second year of physical therapy school. My shift started at 6 a.m. at the hospital cafeteria. It ended at 2 p.m. I'd rush to change, run to campus, classes and clinical rotations from 3 to 8 p.m. I'd return to my apartment at 9, sit on a couch salvaged from a curbside. At 10 p.m., I'd make ramen, 99 cents. From 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., I studied anatomy, kinesiology, pathology, and every 15th of the month, I'd wire $500 to Harper. Thanks, sis. Now I can buy that new textbook. Her messages always had exclamation marks, but never once the words, "I'll pay you back someday." One day, Harper sent me a photo, a new dress, for a sorority formal event. Isn't it cute? Got it on sale for $300. I skipped dinner that day. I only had $50 left until month's end. $187,000 in student loans, still draining my account every month. Last summer, Harper said, "Just let me help a little. I need the experience." I hesitated, but Mom said, "Your family, you should help each other." First week, Mrs. Chen waited 3 hours. Harper had double booked her appointment. Second week, 5 of Harper's sorority sisters came in. She'd given them 50% discounts, without my permission. Third week, the insurance company called. "Dr. Thornton, there are discrepancies in your billing codes. We may need to conduct an audit." I spent all night correcting Harper's mistakes. 31 billing errors. One by one, I fixed them. The next morning, I talked to Harper. "Can you be more careful?" She said, "I know, but I didn't know there were so many rules." That evening, I saw her Instagram, a photo of her laughing with a cocktail at a rooftop bar. Caption, "Finally Friday. Drinks after work are the best." My staff stayed until 10 p.m., fixing her mistakes. My doctoral hooding ceremony. 3 years of research. Hundreds of hours of clinical work. The ceremony was scheduled to start at 10 a.m. At 9:45 a.m., Mom called. "Maya, honey, I'm so sorry. Harper's sorority has an emergency event. She's the program chair. We have to go," I said. "But this is my doctoral ceremony," Mom said. "I know, but you're an adult now. You understand, right? Harper is still young. This is important to her." The call ended. I sat alone at the ceremony. The graduate next to me was surrounded by 5 family members. When my name was called, Dr. Maya Thornton, I walked up to the stage alone. I heard applause from the audience, but not my family's voices. After the ceremony, Dr. Crane found me, my mentor. "Your parents?" she asked. "They couldn't make it." I tried to smile. Dr. Crane hugged me. "You accomplished something extraordinary, Maya. That doesn't change, no matter who wasn't there." That night, Harper sent me photos. The sorority event, balloons and banners. Caption, "Best fundraiser ever. Family support is amazing." In the photo, Mom and Dad smiled, standing with Harper wearing my cap and gown. A cap and gown that I'd lent her, because she said, "Just for photos." The free clinic. 6 months after opening my clinic, Dad called. "My shoulder hurts. Too much golf maybe. Can you take a look?" I said, "Of course. Let's schedule an appointment." Dad laughed. "An appointment? Do family need appointments? I'll just drop by when you're free this week." Diagnosis: rotator cuff inflammation. Treatment plan: 8 weeks of rehabilitation, twice a week. Dad said at the last session, "Feels better. Thanks. I can play golf again next week." He never once mentioned a bill. The next month, Mom called. "My foot hurts. The doctor says it's plantar fasciitis. You can fix that, right?" And then, Harper, "Can you give me sports massages before my beach vacation? And can I bring friends?" I asked my accountant to calculate. Over 3 years, $42,735. The market value of free treatments I'd provided to this family. During those same 3 years, I paid $1,850 monthly toward my student loans. Total, $66,600. More than the value I'd given to my family's health care. But no one noticed. No one said anything beyond "thank you." I took a sip of water. Across the table, Harper kept talking with excitement. I've already thought about the color scheme. The waiting room could be calming beige and teal. And a new booking system. Your current system is so outdated. Mom nodded. Harper is really good at this kind of thing. Dad refilled the wine glasses. His own. Mom's. Harper's. Mine remained empty. He didn't notice. Maya, this is a good opportunity for you, Dad said. Bringing family into management makes the business stronger. Patients prefer family-run businesses, I said. But this isn't a family business. It's my business. Dad laughed, lightly, dismissively. Don't say that. We've supported you. Mom continued. And we helped with your first clinic furniture, remember? Actually, Mom never came to the store. But now, that's become helping. Dad set down his knife and fork, with a serious expression. Maya, you're an excellent therapist. But business acumen is different. You have clinical skills. But management is another skill set. That's Harper's strength. Mom added. You should focus on patient care. That's your passion, right? Let Harper worry about the business. I listened, and I understood. They see me as a technician, as an employee, not as the owner of my own business. Dad tapped the envelope again. Come on, sign this. That was the moment I realized. They weren't listening for my answer. They weren't asking for my consent. They were just informing me. This wasn't a conversation. This was an ultimatum. May I see what you've prepared? I nodded toward the envelope. Dad slid it across the table with a satisfied smile. I turned the pages. Dense legal terminology. But I knew how to read it. Party B, Harper Thornton, shall have the right to receive 25% of Party A's, Maya Thornton's, practice profits. Party B's decisions shall be final in matters of daily operations. In other words, in my practice, in my business. Harper's decisions would override mine. I slowly set the papers down, took a sip of water, placed the glass precisely on its coaster. Then, with slow, measured movements, I reached for my own briefcase, resting beside my chair. Before we discuss this further, I said, there's something you should see. Dad's eyebrows rose. What's that? In the weighted silence, I unlocked my briefcase. Click, click. The sound echoed like gunshots. Dad's confident smile faltered slightly as I withdrew a leather portfolio, the expensive one I'd splurged on after landing the Denver sports medicine contract. A quiet reminder of success achieved without their help. What's this? Dad's voice held a faint tremor. Mom nervously glanced between her husband and Harper. Her fingers fidgeted with her napkin. Harper's smile, so triumphant moments ago, began to wilt around the edges. As I carefully arranged documents on the table, with the same precision I bring to patient treatment plans. 1, 2, 3. White paper spread across the perfect dinner table. 3 weeks ago, I said, my voice quiet but clear. I signed a management services agreement with Colorado Healthcare Partners. I tapped the top page where their corporate logo sprawled across the letterhead. They'll be managing all administrative aspects of Healing Hands going forward. The color drained from Dad's face. What? Scheduling, I continued. Billing, marketing, HR, everything. Harper leaned forward. That means I can't join? I looked at her. That's correct. Dad reached for the papers. Brow furrowed. You can't make decisions like this without consulting family. Actually, I can. I slid another document toward him. I've highlighted section 4.3 for your convenience. Dad began reading. I had it memorized. No family members may be employed in management positions without unanimous board approval. The board consists of Dr. Maya Thornton and 2 representatives from Colorado Healthcare Partners. He looked up. So if you say no, that's it. Correct. Or if either of the CHP representatives says no, that's it too. I indicated another page. They already have a policy. Family employment is considered a conflict of interest. Harper's face flushed crimson. You did this on purpose. Anger in her voice. But beneath it, hurt surprise. I made a business decision. I maintained eye contact with my sister, refusing to look away first. Based on previous experience. From my portfolio, I extracted a folder containing patient complaint forms, all meticulously organized by date. These are from last summer, when you worked at the clinic. I didn't need to open it. The thickness spoke volumes. But I opened it. 15 scheduling errors, resulting in double-booked treatment rooms. 23 unauthorized discounts, including 8 to your sorority sisters. 31 billing code errors, nearly triggering an insurance audit. I placed the final folder down. This is a warning letter from the insurance company. If billing discrepancies continue, we'll need to review the contract. That contract represents 40% of my practice revenue. Silence fell over the table. Mom reached across the table. Her fingers stopped just short of touching mine. Maya, honey, everyone makes mistakes when they're learning. These weren't learning mistakes. I slowly stood, finding unexpected power in towering over my seated family. These were careless mistakes, made by someone who thought rules didn't apply to her. I withdrew another document, this one created by my accountant. A spreadsheet. This itemizes the free treatments I've provided to this family over the past 3 years. I showed the last page. Numbers in bold. Total, $42,735. Over 3 years. The stunned silence felt like vindication. I watched their expression shift. From entitled certainty to uncomfortable shock. This is a record of money I loaned Harper. Over the same period. I stated only the numbers. Total, $16,450. Amount repaid, $0. Harper's mouth opened. I thought those were gifts. I said, we'll figure it out later. I met her eyes. It's later now. That was the moment. Something that had been stretched tight for 15 years. Silently. Snapped. I stared at them. My parents. My sister. And for the first time, I truly saw the calculation in Dad's eyes, the manipulation beneath Mom's smile, the jealousy behind Harper's charm. They didn't love me. At least, not in the way I understood love. They loved what I provided. My time, my expertise, my money, my business. But me as a person, that was invisible to them. The well that refuses no one will be the first to run empty. Now, I understood. I was that well. For 15 years, I gave water to everyone who came. Every time family asked, I gave. Need money? Here. Need time? Here. Need expertise? Here. And not once did anyone ask, is the well okay? Does the well still have water? Is the well running dry? No one cared. As long as there was water when they needed it, that was enough. And now, the well was empty. Not completely, but I could see the bottom. If this continued, if I kept saying yes, in 1 year, 2 years, there would be nothing left in the well. Nothing left of me. While I was covering this family's healthcare needs, I said, my voice leveled but firm. I was eating ramen noodles to make my student loan payments. I worked double shifts to help fund Harper's freshman year. When rent and malpractice insurance competed for my limited funds, I slept on treatment tables. In winter, I wrapped myself in 3 blankets to save on heating. My voice wasn't shaking, wasn't angry, just stating facts. My phone vibrated with a message. From Natalie, my clinic manager. Did you tell them yet? We're all supporting you. The timing couldn't have been better. A reminder that I'm not alone. My staff knew. When Natalie first reported, she's double booking patients. She's learning, I said. Natalie looked at me, concern in her eyes. You're protecting her. That stung, because it was true. I was protecting Harper. From patients, from staff, from consequences. Why? Because we're family. But Natalie asked a different question. Who's protecting you? That question echoed in my mind now. I looked at my family, and I knew the answer. No one is protecting me, so I have to protect myself. Years ago, my mentor warned me, I said. Dr. Crane. She said, family and business mix like oil and water. I didn't listen. I remember Dr. Crane's worried expression when she found me crying in the supply closet after Dad missed my clinic's grand opening. Dr. Crane quietly said, Maya, when loved ones don't celebrate your success, that tells you something. Listen. I didn't listen. But now I'm listening. I should have listened sooner, I said. I carefully gathered my documents, returned them to my portfolio, all the evidence, all the records, all the truth, organized. prepared, protected. Dad tried to regain control of the conversation, authority returning to his voice. We're getting sidetracked. We're here to discuss Harper's role. Harper will have no role in my clinic. The words came out with a quiet certainty that surprised even me. Neither will you or Mom. The air in the room changed, as if someone had sucked out the oxygen. Maya, Mom's hand flew to her throat. After everything we've done for you. Everything you've done? I pulled a spreadsheet from my portfolio. This is an itemized list of free treatments I've provided to this family over 3 years. Market value, $42,735. But that's not all. This is an opportunity cost calculation. How much I could have earned if I'd used that treatment time for paying patients. Answer: $68,400. In other words, by providing free treatment to you, I lost over $68,000 in income. This is my student loan payments over the same 3 years. Total, $66,600. The value I gave to this family exceeds what I paid toward my own debt. Dad opened his mouth. I continued. This is a record of money I loaned Harper. Total, $16,450. Amount repaid, $0. Harper's face contorted. I thought those were gifts. I said, we'll figure it out later. You said, I'll definitely pay you back. But you never did, because you never intended to. You knew I would never ask, because I'm the good sister. Dad pounded the table, not loudly, but clearly. This is absurd. We're family. Family helps each other. Family doesn't keep ledgers. I looked at him. You're right. Family doesn't keep ledgers. But this wasn't reciprocal. I pulled out another document. This is a record of how this family helped me over the past 3 years. I opened the page. It was blank. Completely blank. My doctoral hooding ceremony. Attendees, 0. My clinic opening. Attendees, 0. When I was hospitalized in October 2022 with pneumonia. 3 days in the hospital. Visits, 0. Silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. Dad's businessman mask slipped. After everything we've done for you, he said, his voice rising slightly. You expect repayment? After what you've done? I cut him off, voice level but firm. After missing my doctoral ceremony for Harper's sorority fundraiser? After telling Dr. Wilson I was just playing at business until I found a husband? After not visiting me when I had pneumonia? Tell me, what exactly did you do? Dad opened his mouth. Nothing came out. He had no answer. I placed my palms flat on the table, steadying myself. Then I said the most important words. These are my terms for any future relationship. The room went still. No one moved. First, my business decisions are mine alone. I won't seek your input. I won't accept suggestions. Contact with my colleagues, staff, or patients is prohibited. Mom gasped. Second, any treatments for family will be billed at standard rates. Payment upfront. If there's no payment, there's no treatment. Dad said, Maya, that's what I require of every other patient. You're not special. Harper tried to stand. Sit down, I said, command in my voice. She sat. Third, you will no longer describe yourselves as partners, co-owners, or investors in my business. You have nothing to do with my business. If you cannot agree to these terms, our relationship ends. Completely. Mom's manufactured composure completely crumbled. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Real tears this time. You can't mean this, she whispered. We're family. Family respects boundaries, I answered. Family celebrates achievements instead of trying to claim them. Family doesn't take from the giver until they're drained. You haven't been acting like family, so I have no obligation to act like family either. Dad's face darkened with frustration. His fists clenched on the table. This is absurd, he said, his voice getting louder. We never thought you'd actually succeed on your own. He said it, then stopped. He realized what he'd said, but it was too late. We never thought you'd actually succeed on your own. The truth slipped out so easily, so naturally. After all these years, after all this work, after all these sacrifices, degrees, doctorate license, clinic contracts, success, all without their help, all without their belief. And they never believed. They never once believed. Harper's carefully constructed mask fell completely. She stood up. The chair fell backward. "It's not fair," she said, venom in her voice. "You get everything. Respect, fancy titles, the business. And me? I'm stuck in a cubicle. While you play hero in your precious clinic." There it was. Raw jealousy beneath the manipulation. Resentment beneath the charm. "Harper," I said, quietly, but clearly, "I'm not playing at anything. I'm working. Really, really hard work. You being in a cubicle isn't my fault. And just because you want my business doesn't mean I have to give it to you." I closed my portfolio with a decisive snap. The sound rang out like a verdict. I stood up, portfolio tucked under my arm. I'd built everything I have while supporting this family emotionally and financially. For 15 years, I kept giving. And not once did I receive more than a thank you. No, not even that. What I received were expectations. Expectations to give more, to sacrifice more, to remain invisible. I reached for my coat, from where Mom had placed it, what felt like a lifetime ago. I'm not playing at anything. I'm living something real. Real work, real responsibility, real success. And being invisible is over. I pulled money from my wallet, placed it on the table. For the coffee, $5.50. The exact amount. I didn't want to owe anything. Behind me, I heard sounds. Mom's quiet sobs. Real ones. For the first time, real ones. Dad's harsh whisper to Harper. "This is your fault." No, it's not. This isn't anyone's fault. This is a choice. My choice. To draw boundaries. To protect myself. To value myself. A chair scraped. Someone trying to stand. But I didn't look back. For the first time in my life, I was moving forward. Without checking if they approved. Without waiting for their understanding. Without begging for their forgiveness. I placed my hand on the front door. Outside was bright. Afternoon sunlight. Golden and warm. The weight of their expectations fell from my shoulders with each step. Obligation. Guilt. The pressure to be the good daughter. The pressure to be the good sister. All of it, falling away. And I walked into the sunlight, standing taller than when I arrived, lighter than when I arrived, freer than when I arrived. For the first time, I was walking for myself. I stood at the picture window of my expanded clinic. Afternoon light painted golden highlights across the Denver skyline. 1 year had passed since that fateful Sunday dinner. The view before me mirrored the transformation within. "Dr. Thornton, your 3 o'clock is ready." Rachel, my lead therapist, appeared at my side, clipboard in hand. "It's Mrs. Montgomery's final session." Perfect timing. I smiled, genuine warmth spreading through my chest. The waiting room bustled with activity. Patients sat in comfortable chairs. Framed awards lined the walls. The waiting list for new patients stretched 2 months out, a testament to the reputation we'd built. Mrs. Montgomery waited in the treatment room. She was 82. Bright eyes. A spine curved from decades of hard work, but now standing straighter than before. "There she is," she announced to no one in particular. "The miracle worker herself." I laughed. "The miracle was your dedication to home exercises, Mrs. Montgomery." "Nonsense. My grandson says you're the best in Denver." As I guided Mrs. Montgomery through her final stretches, I caught my reflection in the treatment room mirror. The tight shoulders and defensive posture that once characterized my stance had softened. I stood taller now, grounded in my worth. "Now, Mrs. Montgomery, show me." She laughed, then did something that used to be impossible. Raised her arms above her head, without pain. Tears welled in her eyes. I couldn't do that for 3 years. Couldn't hug my grandson. Too high. But now I can. This is why. This is why I fought for 15 years. For moments like this. Later that afternoon, I welcomed 3 new graduates to my mentorship program. Sarah, Marcus, Lily. They gathered around the conference table. "The most important thing I can teach you isn't a technique," I told them. "It's knowing your value. In this profession, you'll give constantly. Time, energy, expertise. It's beautiful, but make sure what you're giving is respected. And above all, protect yourself from family who don't celebrate your success." Sarah raised her hand. "But Dr. Thornton, isn't it hard to refuse family?" "Yes," I said, honestly. Very hard, but necessary. Because a well that refuses, no one will be the first to run dry. They wrote it down. But I knew. They didn't truly understand. Not yet. Someday, they would. When they face that moment. I hope they remember these words. After they left, I reviewed the latest figures for our pro bono program, serving underserved patients. The initiative now comprised 15% of our practice, a percentage that would have terrified me last year, but now fills me with purpose. Because this is a choice. This is a gift I've chosen to give, not something someone demanded of me. The evening sun cast long shadows as I arrived at Claire's home for our monthly dinner. Unlike my parents' dining room, there was no oppressive formality. This space hummed with authentic conversation, laughter, debate, comfortable silence. My chosen family passed dishes family style. To Maya, Rachel raised her glass, who taught us all that standing your ground isn't selfish. It's necessary. Applause rippled around the table. I thought about the scholarship I'd established for PT students from challenging backgrounds. The boundary setting workshop I'll lead next month. The specialized vestibular rehabilitation program launching tomorrow. All of this became possible because I chose to protect myself. When dinner concluded, I stepped onto Claire's back porch. The mountains rose majestically against the horizon, steadfast and immovable, like the boundaries I've learned to maintain. You look peaceful, Claire said, joining me. I am. I breathed deeply. I finally understand. I can heal my patients without sacrificing myself in the process. Claire smiled. What about your family? Emails from Mom. 2 or 3 a week. Photos of her volunteer work at the community garden. Short messages saying, had a good day today, but asking for nothing. Expecting nothing. Small steps, but genuine ones. Dad's name was still absent from the sender list. Some wounds need more time than others. An email from Harper. Just one last month. Got a new job at a mid-sized accounting firm. Found it myself, without anyone's help. I understand now what that feels like. I replied, congratulations. I knew you could do it. Brief, but honest. It's not over yet, I told Claire, but we are moving forward. Slowly, but in the right direction. That night, when I got home, I looked at my phone. A missed call from Mom. I took a deep breath and called back. Hi, Mom. Maya. Mom's voice was small. Did I wake you? No, I was up. Silence. Then, I've been thinking about what you said. Everything. And you were right. I said nothing. Just listened. We took you for granted. We thought you'd always be there. But we never considered that you had limits too. I'm sorry. 2 words. Simple. But words I'd waited years to hear. Thank you, I said. I'm glad to hear that. Can we try again? Mom asked. On your terms. Slowly. I looked at the mountains. Steadfast. Like boundaries. Yes. Slowly. After hanging up, I took another deep breath. And for the first time, in years, I felt truly, completely at peace. The well that refuses, no one will be the first to run empty. But now, I know how to keep the banks firm, how to protect the water, how to choose who to give to and who not to, how to draw boundaries. And my well, once again, is full. The sun rises. A new day. A new beginning. I am Maya Thornton. I heal people. People who value the healing. But most importantly, now, I heal myself too. Every day. One step at a time. One boundary at a time. One no at a time. And that is enough. I am enough. So, what do you think? Was Maya wrong to draw boundaries with her family? Should she have signed that contract and given Harper a chance? Or was protecting her business the right choice? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've ever had to choose between family expectations and protecting yourself, I'd love to hear your story. Remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's survival. If this story resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories about quiet strength and personal empowerment. Thank you for listening. Until next time, take care of yourself, because no one else will do it for you.